Hello, and welcome to Chabot News for November 16, 2022. My name is Don, and today we'll be covering midterm election results, SF City of Chaos, World Kindness Day, and sports news. All that and more coming up on Chabot News. The Republicans are closing in on a slim majority in the House while losing the Senate by one seat, with Georgia's race going to a runoff. In the end, it might become harder for Democrats to pass legislation, but the GOP does not appear to have done as well in the midterms as some polls had suggested. Amy Kiley reports on the ramifications of the predicted red wave, turning out to be a little more than like a pink wave.
While the press and the pundits are predicting a giant red wave, it didn't happen.
If anything, the wave looks pink as the final election results trickle in. In fact, this might end up being the best midterm performance for a sitting president's party in 20 years.
I felt good during the whole process.
The outcome has ramifications beyond the party roll calls. Narrow congressional majorities can favor more moderate viewpoints. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin could speak to that. Democrats say the midterm results also send a message about the issues that matter to Americans and how they want to solve them.
The issues were the economy and autonomy and democracy.
By autonomy, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine says he means many voters are upset about even tighter abortion restrictions.
If you were an economy voter, that didn't mean that you were voting Republicans. A lot of people like what the Democrats are doing and want us to do more.
The midterms were also the first major election since the January 6th Capitol riot.
I kind of feel like it's a Groundhog Day. We had November 3rd, 2020. That was called Incompetency 101.
The broad result is in for gubernatorial candidates across the country. Most who refused to affirm the 2020 presidential election results lost. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Thank you, Amy. On a related story, in the wake of the disappointing results for Republican Party in Tuesday's midterm elections, Murdoch-owned media outlets, the Fox News and the New York Post and the Wall Street Journal, are blaming Trump for GOP's lackluster performance and appear ready to move on from the former president. On its front page on Wednesday morning, the New York Post anointed Governor Ron DeSantis as the future of the GOP party. On Thursday, it took a fresh aim at Trump, depicting him as Trumpty Dumpty. The attacks from Murdoch's formerly Trump-friendly media outlets come as key races that will determine the control of the Congress remain too close to call. But whatever the outcome, the so-called red wave that many Republicans were expecting failed to materialize. The City of Chaos. The CEO of a retail chain who wrote a blog trashing San Francisco as the City of Chaos after closing a Hayes Valley location, has apologized and reopened the SF store. Last month on LinkedIn, Cotopaxi CEO David Smith published a post saying San Francisco had, quote, descended into a city of chaos to announce the closure of the brand's Hayes Valley store due to high incidents of shoplifting and other thefts. Smith wrote, our first week there, our windows were smashed and thousands of dollars of product was stolen. We replaced the windows and it immediately happened again, 4 times. We replaced the windows with plywood as we waited for a month plus to get metal detectors security gates installed, unquote. Smith wrote that the staff at the SF store felt unsafe and lamented that he was now, quote, avoiding San Francisco, a city he used to love, end quote. But in a new LinkedIn post published this week, Smith apologized for his harsh words and announced that the Cotopaxi Hayes Valley location had reopened with full-time private security in place. 3 suspects stole a victim's watch in an armed robbery in Millbrae on Friday afternoon, according to a press release from the San Mateo County Sheriff's Office. The incident happened at the area of Ludman Lane and Casoliano Drive at about 1:55 p.m. The victim told police that 2 suspects approached him and demanded his watch. One of the suspects was armed. The suspect then got into a getaway car, which was driven by a third person. Police described the car as a gray Hyundai sedan. There have been a series of Rolex robberies across the Bay Area dating back to the summer. Robberies have happened in Daly City, Redwood City, Walnut Creek, and other Bay Area cities. Police did not specify what kind of watch was stolen from the victim in the Millbrae on Friday. This year, both Chabot College's men's and women's soccer teams were canceled on September 20th. Athletic Director Jeff Druin explained why the season was shut down before it could begin. Quote, "For the women's team, they did not have enough players to field the team. As for the men's team, we had 15 players, which is enough to compete. When we ran their eligibility, we discovered that the 6 of the athletes were academically ineligible, reducing the roster number to 9 eligible athletes, which is not enough to field the team," end quote. Jeff continued, quote, "After having a conversation with Dr. Cooks, the vice president of instruction, we made the decision to give the team some time to fix the situation. Shortly after, we had to make the difficult decision to cancel the season." Illegal sideshows erupted throughout the Bay Area over the weekend in cities from Vallejo to Hayward. Police said at some points gunfire was heard and people pointed to lasers at the drivers as well. One of the largest sideshows was in Vallejo, where police said they broke up about 300 cars before midnight on Saturday near the Blue Rock Springs golf course. Drivers were spinning their cars in donuts and making other reckless moves throughout the city. Police also broke up sideshows in Richmond, Santa Clara, and Rodeo, and Hayward. Bullets also fired early Sunday morning near the Hayward Water Treatment Plant. The sideshow there lasted at least an hour. So far, the police have not made any arrests. And now we go to Diana with sports news.
The Miami Heat is searching for a new name for its arena after its current sponsor declared bankruptcy. The team in Miami-Dade County announced Friday an end to naming right deal with cryptocurrency leader FTX. The company's fortunes took a dramatic fall this week. On Monday, then CEO Sam Bankman-Fried assured investors the company was fine. But by Friday, Bankman-Fried had resigned and the company named his replacement. The Heat's home was renamed FTX. Arena in June of last year, the team said it's looked forward to identifying a new naming right partner. The NFL is making history. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are facing the Seattle Seahawks in Munich Sunday. It's the first ever regular season game ever played in Germany. The game also makes Tom Brady the first quarterback to start a game in 3 different countries outside of the US. As a New England Patriot, Brady won all 3 of the international games he played in, with 2 in London and 1 in Mexico City. Now back to Don for some more news.
Thanks, Diana. After a diverse election, it's time for everyone to come together and celebrate World Kindness Day. Sunday marks the 24th anniversary of the celebration started by the World Kindness Movement. 28 countries, including the U.S., mark World Kindness Day on November 13th by spreading goodwill like the common cold. To observe the day, we are encouraged to let our companionship shine brightly and show as much kindness as possible. Studies have shown that when people observe kindness in action, they are more likely to carry out an act of kindness themselves. Organizers ask that we share the acts of kindness and post them to social media with the hashtag World Kindness Day. A pair of Steve Jobs' old Birkenstocks just sold for an astonishing price. According to Julian's Auctions, the Apple company founder's beloved brown sandals went for $218,000. That's a record for the highest price ever paid for a pair of sandals at the auction. According to the auction house, the Birkenstocks were a wardrobe's staple for Jobs in the 1970s and 1980s. They were saved from the trash by a former house manager to Jobs. Prior to the sale, the auction house described the shoes as well used, but intact with the imprints of Steve Jobs' feet. Jobs died in 2011 from complications related to pancreatic cancer. Well, that's it for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all the students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/ChabotTV. Stay tuned to KCTH Channel 27 for more Chabot News.